So that was the gameplay. I have settled on my build for my Necromancer at last. Sorry, I'm getting all confused here. Alright, so I have settled on this finally at last. And what I mean by at last is no matter how bad it is, how mediocre it is, I'm not changing anymore. I have tried tons and tons of builds, tons and tons of ways to play on this character since I made this character in when was Elsewhere released? Well, whenever Elsewhere was released, that's when I made this character. Alright, and so I have been through many variations. Of course, at that time I have said plenty of times already that I started off as a hybrid with this character, and the character is still technically a hybrid the way it plays, but now everything is a hybrid, so I don't really claim to be a hybrid anymore. But originally this character, back when hybrids were much more rare, this was a straight up like dizzy swing. There was some magic skills in there that wasn't really that common, but so now I'm more leaning into Magicka, melee Magicka with it. But what I'm using on this character is Kind Marchers, Wretched Vitality, and Saint Seducer. And I'm just going to stick with that. I don't even care about the end pen. Yes, I'm wearing end pen on it, but to be honest, as I have said plenty of times also on various people's videos and comments and on their live streams, I can wear all the end pen I want and I'm still squishy. And even with this character now, I'm squishy. I was using a Lady Mundus for more resistance, and I just found that while I might have been slightly tankier, I wasn't really putting people away, you know. Going back and forth between Balrog and Bloodspawn, and I think I'm just going to stick with Bloodspawn just for the little bit of tankiness and ultimate regen, and I'm not going to worry too much about trying to get that. Even though that damage from Balrog is nice, it's only when you have a ultimate, you know. It's not constantly going, and so that's why I'm just going to stick with Bloodspawn, because Bloodspawn is something that is always working, not just only when I use the ultimate. And so Necromancer has so many weaknesses, and it doesn't really help that the way I play this character is I use as many class skills as possible. If you saw the gameplay, then you know. And as a matter of fact, you know what? I hate to make you sit through that gameplay. So what I'm going to do is, as I'm deciding this now, I'm going to put this voiceover on the gameplay so that you don't have to watch the gameplay and then hear me talk about the build. I wanted to show you exactly what I was looking at on my screen, but you know what? Yeah, I just let you watch the gameplay instead. So I'm just going to stick with this. I'm not going to go back and forth anymore. It is what it is. At least the build, because of the fact that I try to stick with class skills, it's going to be a little bit better next patch, because Skeletal Arcanist gets a it's going to give me the Major Brutality and Major Sorcery buff, and the Siphon is going to give me the crit buff. But the thing that sucks about it is that it's only while it's active. See, Zos doesn't like to just straight up buff Necromancers. They like to make the class, they try to force you to play a certain way with the class, and it just doesn't work. So if your tether breaks, then your buff is gone. Flat out, plain and simple. if you are in the middle of a fight, which happens often, and you are trying to grab a tether and you just can't grab it, you have no crit buff. It's the way they have it set up. And also when you have they made it so that you can't pre-buff anymore, so you can't get your hots going if you are using the restoring tether. You can't just sit there on a flag or whatever and just create a corpse and get your healing going. No, you can't do that anymore. So that's gonna really hurt more, but it is what it is. It's, you know, I'm trying to play the class. I could always make a better character without the class skills, but I'm trying to use the class skills. So I'm pretty tired, you know, I'm fighting off yawns and stuff, so I'm just gonna end this video there. And yep, this is what I'm just gonna stick with after all these years. I'm just finally just gonna deal with it and not try to improve this character anymore.